Welcome back to another episode of Undiagnosed Baddie, my daily 10-minute podcast where we talk about whatever I want to talk about for 10 minutes. Y'all already know the podcast is to do something you want to do with something that you have to do, and we are listening to the podcast to get tasks done for my ADHD baddies. Now, we have been, to make my life easier, focusing on a topic, and I just go from there. So today's topic is brought to you, of course, by a man. And he states, "Not a single job has asked me to see my degree. We did not need that." So let's talk about it. You absolutely needed the degree. You absolutely needed higher education to be able to, one, process, understand words, definitions, and to be able to critically think through something. I do not job shame ever. Do we need trades as much as we need people going to college? Absolutely. Do I believe that everyone needs some form of higher education? Absolutely. These are my own statistics that I'm making up right now, but I'm going to say 8 out of 10 times a business that you go to where you have just a dumb, unpleasant experience was put together by somebody who said, "I can do that." And they did that without having any courses, any training, any etiquette, any thought processes that go into a business. Speaking of which, okay, we're going to pause the degree thing real quick. I just saw on TikTok, somebody went to Lagos District on K Street. And she said, now, she's a dummy bitch for this, but she said she waited 4 hours to get her food. She went in, I guess she was having a good time. The music was good, the vibes were good, but she waited 4 hours. There's no way I'm waiting 1 hour for my food. Not for my food to come out, right? And she said not only did she wait 4 hours for her food to come out, she didn't get everything that she ordered, and her order was wrong. Let's talk about how there are a lot of people in industries that have money, that have resources, and the resources, money and resources, top two, and they want to do something, so they go do it, but they don't research what they need to do to have a successful fucking business. And the date keeps getting pushed back for opening, and the date keeps getting pushed back for opening because they're not consulting. They're not hiring people to come into the field to say, "Hey, I need you to make sure that construction stays on this, on that." You have to, when doing any venture, put out way more money if you want it to be successful without bad feedback. At any point, you have to do the research and spend the money up front. And that's why people are like, oh, the smart people are like, it costs a lot to do a business. When I do the things that I do, everything that I have done thus far has been out of my pocket. Why wouldn't it be? I apply for grants. It's difficult applying for grants into the abyss, and that's what I feel like. And then when you go to hire a grant writer or things like that, that is just another bill on top of what you're trying to do. But you have to pay that grant writer up front, Stink, in the hopes of receiving the grant, so there's that. Now, when we talk about not needing a degree, everything, okay, people say something like, use your common sense, and people rebuttal and say, common sense is not so common. And then there's the saying that goes, common sense is not necessarily common because it's critical thinking, and everybody cannot critically fucking think. Everybody can't critically think. And we sit here and we're like, why in the world can't you figure out A to Z, right? Like, no matter which way it goes, no matter which way it's put out, why can't you? You can't. There's layers to that shit. It's layers to it. And I don't think people truly understand that when it comes to a degree, it's about being able to research. It's about being able to critically think. It's about being able to take a task, start the task, finish the task. We have deadlines. Now, when I was in down Eastern Shore, and it was the School of Business. I hated. I had a 40-page paper one time, sophomore year. Hated it. I said, what am I writing this 40-page paper for on this random fucking topic? And it's not teaching me how to technically run the business. Now, if the task was, this is your business, we need, SOPs, and we need this written out, and we need HR department, and you got to pull this whole business together. Now we're fucking working with something. But when they say, give me a 40-page paper on banners, what? Right? So in that case, I do think that the college and university industry, education overall needs to be revamped. We can ask, that's a whole different topic right there. That's a whole nother episode that's way longer than 10 minutes. But people absolutely need their higher education in all aspects. You need to learn, let's talk about business etiquette, right? So now everything, even with men and their haircuts, it's like book online. And they have 7,000 rules. And obviously, some of the rules come from human interaction and things happening. And now we have to put a rule in place because y'all fucking tried it, right? But then there are people that just don't have etiquette. People think, and this is gonna sound crazy, in the service industry, you're there to service. Yeah, I said it. So in the service industry, and I'm talking about hairstylists, nail techs, let's get the fuck into it. Y'all are there to service people. The people who's coming to spend the most money with you work 9 to 5. So if your hours are 9 to 5 and the people that are bringing you money hours are 9 to 5, how do you expect to get their money? So then it turns into, well, I only work from 5 to 9 because my clientele is low during the day. Do you fucking think so? Why do you think that? So there's so many layers to critical thinking, even in your business practices. You absolutely needed a degree. Is some stuff transferable? So marketing to business to communications, somewhat interchangeable. Business to sociology to psychology is not necessarily interchangeable with terms and definitions. In the funeral industry, right, we had the term the apex of your heart. Everybody usually thinks the apex is the top. Well, when we go into the body, the apex is considered the bottom. Terminology across fields changes due to etymology and just what the study is, right? So besides words, the physical things, do you need the degree? Yes. Do you need higher education? Yes. Do I feel, if you're going to open a business, that you have to get a 4-year degree? No. Do you need certain business classes? Fucking yes. Do you need to read the books? Yes. There's one book that I want, and if you want to buy it for me, you can. I think it's 2 books. I know that it's one for sure, and it is the Disney book that all of the workers at Disney have to read upon onboarding for their customer service and their niceness. Now, I know that there was this rumor, not sure how true it is, probably is, because of the standards, that Chick-fil-A took some of those practices and uses that as like their foundation of their customer service, and that's why you get superior customer service at Chick-fil-A versus other fast food restaurants, even though Chick-fil-A has fell all the way off. It is a standard of customer service, of etiquette, of business practice, to be able to know how to greet people when they walk into your establishment, to be able to, as a service provider, you're a therapist too, not that kind, you know what I'm saying? But you have to know how to be able to talk to people, to deal with people, because at the end of the day, you want them to come back because you want their money over and over and over again. So did you need a degree? Yes. Go take a business class.